Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey. I'm a graphic designer and a brand designer, and today I'm going to share with you how to land those design clients. So a little background on me is I have my own brand design business where I take on different brand clients, so doing rebrands or complete refreshes and new brands starting out with their businesses. And then I also do social strategy as well and other various marketing and graphic design needs. But my main focus is on brand design. So it's a lot of having small businesses come to me, or entrepreneurs or individuals that are looking for a personal brand to be developed and to establish. And then they take their style guide and then they move forward with their brand without me. With that being said, a lot of the clients that I need then are ones that are going to be coming in just for that one project, and then I'll need to find another new client moving forward. So it's a lot of looking for new clients, and I've started to establish a good sense on how to find clients, and I'm excited to share with you today on how you can find clients if you're looking to start your own brand design business, or if you just are a graphic designer and you're looking for tools and resources. So this could definitely apply to many different designers. It's going to be a focus on graphic design, but it could apply as well to any form of graphic design. It could apply to interior design. It could apply to like photographers or other creatives as well. But I'm going to give a lot of details today and talk you through each step. If you're new to my channel, I have all kinds of videos around graphic design tips and tricks and lifestyle and just behind the scenes of what my life looks like as being a graphic designer. So if you're interested in that, please check out my other videos and consider subscribing down below. Diving right in, I want to start off with social media because of course we all know social media is such a great platform and tool to have as an entrepreneur. It's something that I started using that made me pursue this path of having my own design business, and it's an area I highly recommend. There are a few different social media areas that I personally use and a few that I would recommend to those starting out. First up is Instagram, of course. This is the one that I started using. It's the one I use the most, and I think most people know that Instagram is a great resource to use to market yourself. It's really grown into a very impressive platform to share your work and then also get inspiration and connect with others that are either designers as well in your same communities, or just to connect with people all over the world and also find those clients, of course. Ways that I've found Instagram to be really useful is just, of course, just sharing your work and sharing as much behind the scenes with it as you can. Instagram is really prioritizing reels, and so if you can share behind the scenes of your just different aspects of your business, of your brand, that will be huge. I do it for sharing just different behind the scenes as I put together. It could even just putting together like a social Instagram post that if I record it as I'm putting it together and then post it as a reel, usually I see a good amount of traction on that. I've also done ones where I share a complete look at my style guide. I give just different tips when it comes to branding and just offering informational tools that people can use to reference. There's a couple ways that I would suggest to be able to find clients, and that would be to interact with other people. So it's a great resource to be interacting with other accounts, and then they'll interact back and help you to grow and get your name out there a little bit more as well. There's also a great opportunity to use your Instagram bio to change up your name. So I've changed mine to brand designer because that's what I specialize in, and you could do the same with the area that you are focused on. Overall, there's just a huge assortments of things you can go down with using Instagram. I could probably do a whole video that's separate on that, and you have so many great resources out there to learn how to grow your Instagram, but that has been the number one thing on how I started out on finding my first clients and doing work that way. Next up is YouTube. So YouTube was an unexpected way for me to really start growing my business. I didn't realize that as I was making videos about certain areas that there were literally entrepreneurs searching these topics that wanted to find a resource and maybe realized along the way as they watched a video about it that they couldn't necessarily do it themselves. So that's where having a video showing your expertise worked really well. I would recommend doing that as well, of course. But there's a whole different variety of ways. So you could just start sharing your life on YouTube that has to do with your specialty that you're focused on. You can make videos that are specific around that area. And you can also work with other YouTube creators on just kind of doing an influencer way so they could share about your channel and your services and also do a whole service on that. That's one way I also started out. I worked with someone here on YouTube that was a great resource to really helping me kick off on showing my work to others. I do want to point out too, YouTube is great for long term because people will constantly be using those search terms and looking for it as a search engine, compared to Instagram. You're not necessarily searching as much and it's usually more of a short term item. So having the balance of the two has been really helpful for me. Next up is TikTok. So TikTok is actually an area that I am not as active on. I am trying to challenge myself to be more active on it this year. I feel like everyone is saying that, but I've posted some. You can post things that are similar to posting your Instagram Reels, so like behind the scenes. You could do more focused in on different trending audio and topics that are trending. That's something you really have to spend a lot of time on TikTok to become aware of, but I know people have grown themselves really quickly on there and then also been able to adapt that to link back to their business and share details about their business and share their expertise. So that's another resource you could easily dive into and use for social media. Lastly, I just want to share another long-term opportunity, and that is using Pinterest. So of course, we all know Pinterest is a great place for inspiration and to tag your just different images and things like that, and just put up together a whole board really. So putting your work out there and providing resources is another great way. That's something that, again, people will go and start searching on there and they could find your work and then link back to your website as well. So it's a great opportunity to provide more links and have a more long-term post or share opportunity with social media. So those are the 4 ways I'm active on social media. I don't know, there's just so much you can do with social media. It's like honestly an endless opportunity. I think that focusing in on it and really taking advantage of a couple platforms is really great. I know it can be overwhelming to do too many of them, so I would recommend just starting with 1 or 2 in the beginning and seeing how you can translate the same kind of content across all the platforms. Next up is a more design focused area, I guess. It's just using just different websites and design websites for this. I mean, I think we've all heard of using like Fiverr and things like that. I personally haven't used that, and that's an area you could use. I don't know if I would highly suggest it. I think that people do well with it, but personally I just can't speak from experience with that. But I can speak from experience from other websites. Like Dribbble is a great opportunity to post and share your work. It's not necessarily looking for hire. People can hire off of there and go to find people off of there, but it's a great way to share your style and gain inspiration. It's a sense of a social media platform as well, but it's an area people do go to look for someone to be hired and have that opportunity. Behance is another area to really show your portfolio and get hired off of that. They provide all of your contact information, and people, when they go to Behance, they know that they're looking for a creative or they're looking for creative inspiration that can often come from your certain design style. And that's a platform where people don't necessarily have to just be designers. There's a lot of great photographers that also share their work on there, and other creatives as well. Lastly, I want to share Creative Market. I haven't personally worked with this, but I've heard really great things about it. Creative Market is a great resource for me. I've used their variety of fonts on there and things like that. They do free resources each Monday, and so that really gets me familiar with a lot of great creators on there. And it's just a way to, again, share your work and also be able to get paid for it. Creative Market is something that you have to apply and be approved of to do. So that's one way that you could start to gain clients that way, is if they're finding your work on Creative Market, and then they might want to reach out to you from there. Those are really just the 3 design websites I would recommend if you're looking for a route to go that way. That is a little different than social media, but there are so many great resources out there. There's a lot of great opportunities. There's new things popping up, I feel like, almost every day that people are using. There's online agencies you can join and things like that. But those are 3 areas that I see as being more approachable as you're beginning out your design career. Lastly, I just want to touch on word of mouth. So of course, word of mouth is typically when you have a client and they love the work that you did for them and they want to share it with everyone. That is absolutely a great way to get your name out there and to get referrals, of course. But there's other ways you can do a sense of word of mouth as well. The first one is joining Facebook groups. I know that's a little interesting and maybe could fit more in the social media area, but Facebook groups, there's just so many opportunities with it again. So you could join ones that are specific to your area. You could join ones that are maybe specific to business in your area. You could join specific design ones. A lot of the design ones will say, hey, I have this project opportunity. I don't specialize in it, but I'm looking for someone that does or maybe has the capacity to do it, and then you could step in too. I've found that joining Facebook groups is just really grateful for either that side of it or also just having the resource and the community with other designers. A lot of designers off of Instagram will create a Facebook group that you can join. So if someone is a little bit more well known and they foster a great sense of community, I would check in and see if they have a Facebook group that you can join, because more often than not, designers do have this, so you can use it as a resource and connect with others. The next up on my list for word of mouth is obviously connecting with other designers as well. This is a great sense to do it on Instagram, so you can just watch out for other people. A lot of times people will post like, hey, I'm looking for a designer to refer to my client, or they'll do things like that. You could also reach out to them and always say, hey, if you ever have a project you can't take on, I would love to be considered. Please keep me in mind. There's a lot of designers that will do that, because most designers will end up closing their books at one point, and then if there's someone that comes up in need or maybe it's not a great fit for them, they could always refer it to you. Lastly, I would just do a different way of connecting with others, and that's just connecting with non-designers that could refer you. So a great area to connect with are copywriters. There are so many great copywriters on Instagram that you can use as a referral program, and maybe you could do some sort of partnership with working with them. You can also do that with website designers if that's something you're not specializing in. You could do it with like SEO experts. You could even do it with tax experts, things like that. Anyone that's working with a lot of entrepreneurs that could share your need, and also you could work out some sort of deal that you work out a referral program. One other way is photographers is a great area to also work within. But there's so many people you can connect with over on social media that really helps expand that need for finding clients. One more thing that I forgot to mention is using Google. So of course, there's so many opportunities with getting your business registered on Google. You can start using Google Ads and things like that. But one area that's great is Google My Business, because you could go ahead and add in that location of where you are, and then every time someone's looking for a designer, you might be able to be one of the informations that pops up, as well as just having yourself up on the map, which is great. Okay, that is basically my quick speed round tips on how to find clients. I'm so happy to do a more in-depth video on any of these if you'd like. I have a video coming soon that is about my client process, but as always, if you have any questions or if there's a topic you would like to see more on or you're curious about, please drop it down below. I'm so happy to help, or feel free to message me over on Instagram, because I'm always looking forward to answering questions and connecting with you. But as always, please like this video and consider subscribing down below, and I will see you in the next one.